Breaking. The entire crypto industry may never look the same after what's unfolding today. This isn't another piece of overhyped noise. And it's not clickbait. We're talking about real developments with far-reaching consequences. Today's breaking news could mark the beginning of the most explosive phase of mass adoption the digital asset world has ever seen. Whether you're already holding XRP or you've been watching from the sidelines with caution, it's time to tune in closely. What we're witnessing right now has the potential to dramatically alter the course of financial technology, and XRP is once again in the spotlight. For years, Ripple's vision of cross-border efficiency and digital liquidity has been quietly maturing behind the scenes. But now, several powerful catalysts, ranging from ETF approvals, legislative breakthroughs, and massive institutional entry, are converging at once. This moment could be the inflection point we've all been waiting for. Make no mistake, we are standing on the edge of a paradigm shift. What follows over the coming weeks could be the very start of widespread regulatory recognition and integration of crypto into the traditional financial world. And XRP is perfectly positioned to ride that wave. So sit tight, stay sharp, and let's explore what's happening right now because it's big. Hello, and welcome back to the XRP Ripple Insights channel, your go-to destination for decoding the most critical developments in the world of Ripple and XRP. I'm your host, Nick, and today's episode is not your usual market commentary. We're entering uncharted territory. This could be one of the most significant updates we've ever covered. From the ongoing SEC battle to rapid-fire developments with ETFs and a stablecoin bill that might just flip the industry on its head, every headline is building pressure, and XRP is right in the middle of it all. What makes this moment so electric is the interconnected nature of these stories. It's not one isolated piece of news. It's the full ecosystem reacting and evolving in real time. This is why it's so important to be plugged in now more than ever. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, smash that notification bell so you never miss a beat, and join our growing community on Discord, now over 12,000 strong. The discussions happening there are packed with real-time insight, technical analysis, and first-hand updates from insiders who are just as passionate and informed as you are. Trust me, you don't want to navigate this next chapter of crypto without the XRP Ripple Insights crew by your side. Let's begin with what has been the single most defining legal saga in crypto over the past few years, the SEC versus Ripple case. Yes, it's still dragging on, and yes, we've now seen yet another procedural delay. Legal expert James K. Phelan has confirmed that both parties, Ripple and the SEC, have mutually agreed to pause the appeal until the district court issues its ruling. The next key date to watch? August 15th. That's when the SEC must submit its next update, and it could very well be one of the final legal motions in this drawn-out battle. But let's be honest here. Most XRP holders have emotionally disconnected from the case. The fatigue is real. Many investors feel like they've been holding their breath for too long. Even Ripple's executive leadership, Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderoty, and Monica Long, have signaled publicly that this case is practically over. The groundwork has been laid, and the endgame is in sight. What truly matters now is what's happening in the real world beyond courtrooms and legal jargon. XRP's use cases are expanding, partnerships are growing, and regulatory momentum is shifting. The legal fight may be winding down, but XRP's global relevance is only heating up. And that's where our focus needs to be. Here's a headline you won't want to miss. The second ever spot XRP ETF is officially launching tomorrow. Purpose Investments, a heavyweight in the Canadian financial space, has secured final approval from the Ontario Securities Commission, OSC, to launch the Purpose XRP ETF on the Toronto Stock Exchange starting June 18th. This comes just a few months after Hashdex launched the world's first XRP ETF in Brazil this past April. Now, with Canada joining the fray, the global narrative around XRP-based institutional investment is changing rapidly. The logical question here is simple. If Brazil and Canada can see the value in a regulated XRP investment product, what exactly is holding the US back? Ethereum and Solana ETFs are being fast-tracked, getting greenlit at a pace we've never seen before. Yet XRP, one of the most traded digital assets globally for over a decade, remains sidelined in the US market. The inconsistency is baffling, and it's sparking growing frustration within both retail and institutional circles. That said, the pressure is building. With two international ETFs live and more likely in the pipeline, US regulators may not be able to ignore the mounting momentum for much longer. The ETF movement is gaining speed, and XRP is positioned front and center. Now let's talk about what may be the single biggest crypto development of the year, the Genius stablecoin bill, which is being voted on in the US Senate today. This landmark piece of legislation isn't just about regulation. It's about unlocking the next level of digital asset utility on a nationwide scale. If passed, the bill will officially classify and regulate stablecoins under a unified framework. This gives banks, tech companies, and even decentralized finance projects the clarity and green light they've been waiting for to fully integrate stablecoins into their operations. According to a new report by Bernstein, stablecoins are on track to become the internet's native money rail, a foundational financial layer for future digital economies. The bill mandates that only fully backed stablecoins, those supported by short-term U.S. treasuries and issued under transparent, compliant operations, will be allowed. This puts pressure on unregulated players like Tether, while opening massive doors for Ripple, which already meets these regulatory benchmarks. In short, Ripple doesn't need to adapt. It's already there. The Genius Act isn't just a policy update, it's the clearest signal yet that U.S. lawmakers are preparing the financial system for crypto integration at scale. And it could ignite a firestorm of institutional participation. The final piece of this puzzle is arguably the most powerful and the most inevitable. Institutional banking is now charging into the crypto space, and they're not being subtle about it. JP Morgan, one of the largest financial institutions on the planet, has officially filed a trademark for JPMD, its very own stablecoin. But they're not alone. Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo, all American banking titans, are currently exploring their own stablecoin strategies. Overseas, Spain's Santander has announced plans to launch stablecoin services for retail customers. This is no longer theoretical. This is happening. In fact, as early as May 2025, CEOs from major banks went on record saying, "We are ready for crypto payments. We're just waiting for regulatory clarity." With the Genius Act potentially clearing the legislative hurdle, that clarity is now within reach. And when every bank begins issuing its own digital currency, a new challenge emerges: interoperability. Who will connect all these disparate systems? The answer, once again, is XRP. Ripple has long positioned XRP as the universal bridge asset, capable of moving value across any currency type, be it fiat, crypto, stablecoin, or CBDC. As the digital financial ecosystem explodes into complexity, XRP may become the most critical connector of all. This moment in the evolution of crypto and finance isn't just exciting, it's defining. The data paints a very clear picture of where we're heading, and XRP is perfectly positioned at the convergence point. Stablecoin supply alone has surged by 54% year over year, climbing to an astonishing $247 billion. This isn't speculative liquidity, this is infrastructure-level adoption. Simultaneously, tokenized real-world assets, also known as RWAs, have exploded with a staggering 245x growth. What was once a futuristic concept is now a $21 billion reality. From real estate to bonds and equities, assets are being wrapped, digitized, and launched on blockchain rails. And this is only the beginning. Meanwhile, 1 in 3 small businesses in the US is now using crypto in some form, whether for payments, remittances, or capital reserves. On top of that, over 60% of Fortune 500 companies are actively building on blockchain. This isn't a fringe movement, it's a global restructuring. In this unfolding environment, XRP Ledger XRPL is gaining serious traction as a preferred Layer 1 infrastructure. Dozens of stablecoins, including major ones like USDC, are already live on XRPL. As their usage increases, so too does the utility of XRP as the native gas asset powering those transactions. The math is simple. More activity equals more XRP demand. And that's where the real value emerges. Here's the big picture takeaway, the one you should leave with today. The Genius Stablecoin Act isn't just another bill floating through Congress. It could be the match that lights the next great crypto bull run. Not in theory, not in speculation, but in practical, real-world adoption. All the key pieces are now falling into place. Institutional ETFs are beginning to include XRP. Global regulatory clarity is gaining traction. Tokenized real-world assets are proving their worth. And banks, the legacy players of the traditional financial system, are entering the blockchain game with purpose. Every major development, from the SEC case wrap-up to Canada's XRP ETF to stablecoin legislation, is pushing us toward a new frontier in finance. And XRP is sitting right in the eye of that storm. Not by accident, but by design. This digital asset wasn't created to be just another coin. It was engineered to solve real-world liquidity issues, to bridge isolated ecosystems, and to do it with lightning speed, minimal cost, and full regulatory foresight. If you've been waiting on the sidelines, today is your wake-up call. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Genius Act will pass? What's next for XRP? Be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join our free Discord. Follow me on Twitter for real-time alerts as this all unfolds. Disclaimer: before we wrap up, a quick but crucial reminder. Everything we share on the XRP Ripple Insights channel is intended strictly for educational and informational purposes. This is not financial advice, and nothing in this video should be interpreted as a direct recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any digital asset, including XRP. The crypto space is fast-moving, highly speculative, and filled with both opportunity and risk. We encourage every viewer to conduct their own thorough research and due diligence before making any investment decisions. Consult with a licensed financial advisor if needed, especially when dealing with regulatory developments or tax implications. The content we create is based on publicly available data, analysis from industry experts, and our own interpretations of market trends. We strive to keep you informed and ahead of the curve, but ultimately, the responsibility for your investments rests with you. We're here to empower your decisions, not make them for you. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick, and as always, stay informed, stay early, and above all, and stay XRP strong. Until next time, peace out.